The city always looks beautiful when it rains. The neon lights blur against the wet pavement, reflecting a world that feels slightly out of focus, just like my memories of you. I'm sitting by the window today, holding a cup of coffee that has long gone cold. It's funny how a simple rainy afternoon can pull you back into a past you spent years trying to outrun. If you are listening to this tonight, I want you to know something. I never stopped loving you. I just stopped telling you. We met in a coffee shop, exactly like this one, 7 years ago. It wasn't a grand cinematic moment. No eye contact across a crowded room. No sudden spark. It was just an accidental spill of hot tea on my jacket, a flurry of paper napkins, and your breathless voice saying, "I am so sorry." When I looked up, I didn't see an apology. I saw a pair of eyes that looked like they carried the weight of the entire universe. You were a stranger, yet there was this strange, unexplainable sense of familiarity, like my soul looked at yours and whispered, "Oh, there you are. I've been looking for you." We ended up sharing a table. Then we ended up sharing a conversation, and by the time the rain cleared outside, we had shared pieces of our lives that we had never told anyone else. You were an artist trying to find your voice in a city that only valued noise. I was a writer, chasing words that never seemed to capture how I truly felt. Months passed. We became inseparable. We walked the streets of New York at midnight, eating cheap pizza and talking about dreams that felt too big for our tiny apartments. You became the background music to my everyday life, the person I texted when something good happened, and the only person I wanted to see when everything fell apart. Everyone around us thought we were together. They called us perfect. But we were caught in that terrifying, beautiful limbo. The friendship that is so deep, it scares you to take a step forward because you are terrified of losing what you already have. I loved you. God, I loved you so much. It was in the way I always made sure you walked on the inside of the sidewalk. It was in the way I remembered exactly how you took your tea, one sugar, just a splash of milk. It was in the nights when you would fall asleep on my shoulder while watching an old movie, and I would hold my breath just to keep you comfortable for a few minutes longer. But I never said the words. Every time I wanted to tell you, the timing felt wrong. You were dealing with a broken family, or I was drowning in work. There was always a reason to wait for tomorrow. We built this unspoken sanctuary between us, a silent agreement that we didn't need labels, we just needed each other. But silence is a dangerous thing. It leaves room for assumptions. It leaves room for doubt. I still remember the night. Everything changed. It was autumn. The leaves were painted in shades of gold and rust, falling gently onto the cold ground. We were sitting on the rooftop of my building, looking out at the skyline. You turned to me, your hair blowing across your face. There was a look in your eyes that I hadn't seen before, a look of finality. "I got the fellowship," you whispered. My heart dropped. The fellowship, the one in Paris, the one you had applied for a year ago, and we both joked you'd never get, because the world didn't deserve your art. That's amazing," I said. My voice sounded hollow, even to my own ears. I tried to smile, but it felt like my face was made of stone. "When do you leave?" "In 3 weeks," you replied. You looked down at your hands. "I have to go. It's everything I've ever wanted." "You should go," I said. That was my mistake. That was the moment the universe offered me a door, and I slammed it shut. I should have reached across the space between us, taken your hand, and told you to stay. Or better yet, I should have told you I would follow you. But instead, my pride, my fear, my absolute terror of being vulnerable made me say, "You should go." You looked at me then, searching my face for something, a sign, a plea, a tear. But I kept my mask on. I thought I was being selfless. I thought that if I told you I loved you, it would pull you back from your dreams. I thought love meant letting go, but I didn't realize that letting go without speaking the truth is just a slow form of torture. The 3 weeks passed like a blur, and then you were gone. The apartment felt too big, the coffee shop felt too empty. The city, which once felt alive with our laughter, suddenly became nothing more than cold concrete and distant strangers. Every night, I would sit at my desk, open a blank notebook, and write to you. I wrote about how much I missed the sound of your laugh. I wrote about how the coffee shop doesn't taste the same without you sitting across from me. I wrote the words I should have said on that rooftop. I love you. I have always loved you. Please come back. But I never bought a stamp. I never asked for your address in Paris. I just folded the letters, one by one, and put them inside an old wooden box under my bed. A collection of my unspoken truths. A museum of what could have been. A year later, I saw a picture of you online. You were standing in a gallery in Paris, surrounded by your paintings. You looked radiant. You looked happy. And standing next to you was a man who looked at you the way I used to, with absolute devotion. My chest tightened, and for the first time in a year, I cried, not because I was angry at you, but because I was angry at myself. You had moved on because you thought I never cared. You closed the chapter because I refused to write the first line. Years have passed now. We don't talk anymore. We are just two people who share a past and a city of ghosts. Sometimes I wonder if you ever look at the rain and think of me. I wonder if you ever look at a cup of tea with just a splash of milk and remember the writer who loved you in silence. If you are listening to this, wherever you are in the world, know that the box under my bed is still there, full of letters that will never reach you. But if I could tell you just one thing, it would be this: thank you. Thank you for showing me what love feels like, even if it was just for a season. To those listening tonight, if you love someone, tell them. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment doesn't exist. Don't let your love become a box of unread letters. Good night, beautiful souls. Sleep well.